What if I told you that you can have quite literally anything that you desire just by thinking about it? If I told you that you have the power to change your entire life just by changing the thoughts in your head? Modern day manifestation is the belief that an individual's thoughts and intentions have the ability to change or shape their reality. This belief or philosophy is over a century old, and it all began with the New Thought movement. So, today I will be sharing what the New Thought movement is, the teachings of the science of the mind, and how this philosophy has evolved into what we now call manifestation. First, I will start by teaching you about the New Thought movement. The New Thought movement originated in the late 19th, early 20th century in the United States. And according to Britannica.com, elements of the New Thought can be traced to Platonism. Platonism is the doctrine of Greek philosopher Plato, and he believed that the realm of ideas is more real than that of matter, therefore saying that the realm of ideas, thoughts, everything we think is more real than anything material. And he also believed that the material realm, so anything we can touch, feel, see, is a direct result of the spiritual and realm of thought. So the New Thought movement actually consisted of many different ideas, and beliefs varied and were very individualistic. However, in 1916, the International New Thought Alliance agreed upon a purpose, and that purpose was to teach the infinitude of the Supreme One, the divinity of man, and his infinite possibilities through the creative power of constructive thinking. Essentially, the thinkers of the New Thought believed that there is a universal divine power, and that each person carries a part of that power within themselves, and that we each have the power to change and create our own reality using the way we think and our intentions. So, a man by the name of Ernest Holmes actually formulated these ideas into a book that is called The Science of the Mind. And today I will explain the teachings of the science of the mind. So, Holmes was a spiritual writer and teacher, and he is the founder of religious science. And he wrote his book in 1926, where he synthesizes all the ideas of the New Thought movement. In his book, he teaches us that the mind is a creative force and that our thoughts can shape our reality. Affirmations, visualizations, meditation are all things that he talks about and explains in his book. He believes that these can help you align your thoughts to the outcomes of your life. In his book, he writes about how behind our physical bodies, we have what he calls the instinctive man, and this is the inner or subconscious part of our mind. The part of our brain that works beneath the surface and dictates our actions. This runs on intuition and is formed by the thoughts and beliefs that we put into it. If you make changes to your inner thoughts and your inner mind, you can make real changes in your life. You can make changes to your health, to your circumstances, to your purpose. He actually uses a very powerful analogy in his book. He talks about electricity. He talks about how electricity always existed in the universe. It always existed. But until recently, humans did not have the tools or technology to harness that electricity. And he makes that comparison to our inner mental and spiritual powers just because we are barely beginning as a society to understand and recognize them doesn't mean that we haven't always had them, and that we haven't always been able to harness them. So today, the principles of the New Thought movement and teachings of the science of the mind are promoted everywhere as manifestation. Social media platforms such as TikTok and Instagram are filled with people teaching about manifestation techniques, and all this can actually trace back to the New Thought movement and to the science of the mind, whether we realize it or not. Vision boards, affirmations, journaling, these are all very extremely popular methods that are floating around social media these days that actually are adaptations. They're modern day adaptations of these sciences that have been around, or religious sciences that have been around for the past couple of centuries. So many of them repeat Holmes' core message, which again is that your beliefs create your experiences, and changing your inner thoughts will eventually change your outside reality. It really is as simple and scientific as subconscious and conscious mind, right? So the things that you feed your subconscious mind are going to dictate your behaviors, and your behaviors are going to dictate your reality. And each individual has the power and the free will to change what they feed their subconscious, therefore changing their behaviors and changing their reality. All these things that you see online about trusting your intuition or shifting your mindset, they all tie back to this movement. So manifestation is really merely a modern representation of this old belief system that started in the 1900s. So to recap, the new thought movement introduced the radical idea that our thoughts shape our reality. Science of the mind brought all those thoughts and ideas together into a practical approach which can be used to harness the mind's potential, a book, a guide. And today, these ideas live on in manifestation culture, and they're more widespread than ever thanks to social media. So, understanding the philosophy and history behind manifestation helps us to see it as a real science and exploration of the power of our brains.